Hey, thank you again. This is the First Middle Church of Christ, and we're continuing our series on the Lord's Prayer. We're in part 4. Give us this day our daily bread. You can follow us on our website at thefirstmiddlechurchofchrist.org, or you can find us on Facebook and other social platforms under the First Middle Church of Christ. The phrase, give us this day our daily bread, focuses on asking God for our daily needs and our provisions. Now, here's some key points to consider when we're talking about this phrase. Dependence on God. By praying for daily bread, individuals acknowledge their dependence on God for their basic needs. It recognizes that God is the ultimate provider and sustainer of life. It reflects the attitude and the reliance on God's faithfulness and provision. It reflects our recognition that everything that we have comes from God's gracious hand. It is a humble acknowledgement that we rely on God's provision for our physical needs. Our physical and spiritual needs. Now, while the phrase mentions bread in a literal sense, and if you think about it, in every country there is always bread. No matter what country you go to, you see bread. Because it also holds a symbolic significance. See, bread represents the necessity of life, including food, water, shelter, and other essential provisions. But beyond physical nourishment, it can also encompass spiritual nourishment, such as God's Word. Feeding on God's Word. It is nourishment for our soul. It helps us grow. And the need for it. The phrase reminds believers to be content with what God provides each day. Sometimes we're not content. We always want more. When you have more, you want more. And it encourages gratitude for the simple blessings of life and teaches us not to be overly concerned about accumulating wealth or possessions. Instead, it emphasizes the importance of trusting in God's faithfulness. And another point is our contentment and trust. The prayer focuses on asking for daily bread, emphasizing a reliance on God's daily provision rather than hoarding or worrying about future needs. It encourages believers to adopt an attitude of contentment, trusting that God will provide what is necessary each day. It reminds believers that God's care for us, our needs, and encourages us to have faith that God will provide for us according to His will. It encourages a reliance on God's guidance and a surrender to His divine plan. The phrase "give us" signifies that the prayer extends beyond individual needs. It includes a communal aspect where believers pray not only for their own provisions, but also for the well-being and nourishment of others. It reflects a concern for the needs of the broader community and a shared responsibility to care for one another. The phrase also highlights the importance of caring for one another. It encourages believers to be mindful of the needs of others and to share what they have with those who are less fortunate. It fosters a sense of community and emphasizes the responsibility of believers to support and uplift one another. Praying for daily bread also fosters gratitude for God's provision and invites individuals to be good stewards of the resources they receive. It encourages a recognition of God's abundant blessings and a responsible, grateful attitude toward the provisions we receive. Our hearts should reflect gratitude. We should be thankful for what we have, not how much we have, but what we do have and what God has provided for us. The prayer recognizes the importance of both spiritual and physical aspects of life. While it addresses physical needs like bread, it also paints a picture of a larger area. It It shows us that prayer encompasses spiritual theme, highlighting the importance of seeking spiritual nourishment and a right relationship with God alongside physical nourishment. In essence, give us this day our daily bread is a humble request for God's provision and nourishment for our daily needs. It encourages an attitude independent on God, gratitude for his gifts, and concerns for the well-being of others. It reminds believers to trust in God's faithfulness, seek balance, and embrace a spirit of contentment in all aspects of life. Give us this day our daily bread.